Good evening. Welcome to this edition of Northeast Diary. Here we bring you the latest developments from India's unexplored Northeast region. Friends, today we will talk about the community-led fish sanctuary in Garo Hills of Meghalaya. In our heritage section today, we will head towards Mizoram, which is blessed with avian diversity and is a bird watcher's paradise. In Chandel district of Manipur, a non-profit organization has started teaching children of laborers working at General Reserve Engineer Force of BRO. Let's hear more from our Imphal correspondent.
Chandel district of Manipur is a border district neighboring Myanmar, and the workers of Border Road Organization are deployed for road construction in the district. The children of these workers are helplessly stuck in a situation where basic education is not available. However, Chandel-based non-profit organization Wisecraft started the teaching project for these children living near army cantonment situated at Modi village in the district. Around 10 volunteers hail from diverse professions, including a veterinary doctor and a music teacher, giving classes thrice a week. The project commenced this month. Speaking to Northeast Diary, founder cum president of Wisecraft, T.S. Munthung, said,
Wisecraft Chandel as a club started in 2018. We decided to start with Wisecraft's teaching project. It is a project to make education available to the unfortunate group of students or children. Most of them are children of grave workers. These are the people who have been stationed in various border areas of Manipur. Due to the nature of their work, these children are not able to go to schools. And that's how we decided to come together. We have a class of 25 students. Most of them are from Nepali, Adivasi background. Well, the classes are now limited to the Modi area, the region where these grave people are based in. And in the coming days, we expect a couple of more students to join us. We have been blessed by the emphatic amount of responses from people from various backgrounds. Wisecraft's teaching project will continue in 2022 as well.
This is JJ Thoksong from Imphal for AIR News, Northeast Diary.
In the last 2 years, the world witnessed an unprecedented global health crisis and emergency situations due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Most social and economic sectors and activities had to face lockdown. One of the most severe socio-economic impacts of COVID has been the health system's capacity to handle chronic health issues. Such a case has been witnessed for HIV/AIDS. Our Aizawl correspondent tells us about the healthcare activities in prevention of HIV/AIDS.
Among all states of India, Mizoram in recent years has shown HIV infection higher than the national average. This demands urgent tasks to consolidate the HIV responses so as to curb the HIV incidences. While the healthcare services were going on towards the goal, the pandemic has brought a phase to hold back accessibility in services. Evidence claims that the COVID-19 took serious form on those with underlying medical conditions. It has increased fear about disease severity among the people living with HIV. Here, acts positive strategies and endeavors. Such one has been adopted by the State AIDS Control Society. Epidemiologist Dr. Richard C.L.R. Luna of the State AIDS Control Society said that their main focus is now HIV screening and testing. Also to tackle the HIV prevalence rate, while braving the pandemic at the same time, they have been carrying out strategy titled as 95-95-95.
On the 95-95-95, in the first 90, that is 72. So now 72% of PLHIV in Mizoram, that is people living with HIV, know their status. And there are many achievements that we need to mention. We are also seeing a declining trend in the new HIV infection. What unique strategy or intervention that is, we do have the integrated action plan for Mizoram. This is the first of its kind in India, where we included all the NGOs, faith-based organizations, and the community and different departments and our development partners from like WHO, UNAIDS, CDC, USA, and many others. So we come together and form our plan.
Also, many NGOs in partnership with the government bodies have come forward and have been providing fast-track services and community-level actions to reach out to the key population. Under the leadership of the State AIDS Control Society, the state has quickly adapted to the strategies to contain HIV/AIDS vulnerability even in the pandemic situation. For Northeast Diary, this is Irene from Aizawl.
As many people are aware, Meghalaya is one of the few states in the country which has bountiful rolling hills and rivers, remarkable biodiversity, and varied tribal groups. Garo is one of the three major tribes of the state besides Khasi and Jantia, and they have a peculiar way of life when it comes to community participation. Our Shillong correspondent tells us more.
The Garo communities residing along the banks of Simsang River under West Garo Hills district came together to create a fish sanctuary 20 years ago so as to protect the fish population of the river and the ecology of Rombagre village and its surrounding areas. With a little nudge from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, by forming a natural resource management group, the villagers have managed to protect the population of indigenous fish species in the river and also create awareness among the community. Now the Songkal Wari Fish Sanctuary, commonly called as Rombagre Sanctuary, has achieved what and how it was projected. It has become the breeding place for fish and it has multiplied into hundreds and thousands and also helps in increasing the fish population through the entire stretch of Simsang River. Bulbul S. Sangma, a member of the Rombagre Sanctuary, shares the reason why the fish sanctuary was created and how it is thriving.
Since 1965, we started preserving this fish sanctuary and we were looking for government's assistance, and in 2003, IFAD has helped us. Fisheries Department provided us support for creation of viewpoints as well as Borang in 2013 at Songaki Wari and Wachi Wari. Our ancestors had this tradition to preserve food for food, and now we also preserve fish to offer our deity during our traditional ritual, Agal Makka. We continue to preserve this age-old ritual and also to protect the fish and its dwindling population. The community decided in the presence of our village headmen to preserve our fish and establish two sanctuaries at Wachiwari and Songkalwari in the Simsang River. Now our conservation efforts have yielded results and the government department has really motivated us to continue with our conservation effort. The fish population has increased and through people are not allowed to fish from the sanctuary. Since the population of fish has increased, local fish from the adjoining areas. If anybody violates and fish in the sanctuary, a fine of rupees 40,000 has to be paid, and we also give rupees 10,000 to those who inform us about such violations. The fish sanctuary is now a tourist spot and we collect 5 rupees each from visitors and 100 from a group, and we use the money collected for different activities in the village, particularly during funerals. People from different parts of the world and India have visited the fish sanctuary.
It is just because of Rombagre Sanctuary, many other fish sanctuaries have come up in Garo Hills, including the Wachiwari Fish Sanctuary, where endangered fishes like chocolate mashir are thriving, showing the world that it is possible to cater to local needs while protecting free-flowing rivers and nurturing rare fish. This is Rustam for Northeast Diary from AIR News, Shillong.
Rajdranji Ruins are seldom missed by discerning travellers visiting the popular destination of Pelling in West Sikkim. Rajdranji was the second capital of the erstwhile kingdom after Yuksom and remained the seat of power till 1814 AD. A report by our Sikkim correspondent.
The Rajdranji Ruins stand tall among the places of heritage value in West Sikkim, which is home to many other historical sites. The old palace and monastery complex constitute a major part of the ruins, which are the remains of Sikkim's second capital after Yuksom. The remains are those of a once flourishing colony around the palace, which was constructed after the consecration of Chogyal Phunchok Namgyal in 1641 AD. Gangtok-based senior journalist Sarika Atray speak about the historical significance of the Rajdranji Ruins site.
The ruins of Rajdranji in the west district of Sikkim is a burning testimony of the state's ancient glory, which for long was not known to the people living in other parts of the world. Once a bustling human settlement, Rajdranji, which was the ancient capital of the royals of Sikkim, is now a crumbling ruin that still tells stories of power, glory and intrigue of its 350-year-old history. A mark of the rich history of Sikkim, this beautiful monument was the second capital of the former kingdom of Sikkim after Yuksum and the center of authority and residence of the rulers of the past. The Rajdranji Palace was constructed by Chogyal Tensuk Namgyal, the second king of Sikkim in the year 1641 AD. Its lifetime as a capital from 1660 to 1814 was marred by the invasion of the Gorkha army from Nepal, which left it destroyed. What remains now of the once flourishing capital are the ruins of the palace and the many stupas that the royal family offered prayers to. Today, the ruins lie hidden from the main road at a walking distance from the highly revered Pemayangshi monastery. The palace is surrounded by dense forest with a water pond. The scenic view from the top of the ruins scanning across the valley to the mystic heights of the Kanchenjunga range, something to be cherished and etched in memory forever. The main palace is situated in the center of the complex. Remains of the well-laid-out stone structures with steps for elevation in different areas serve as evidence of the erstwhile palace. The antique nature of the ruins can be judged from its architectural style and quite simply from its moss-covered stones. The royal quarters have two large living spaces and an open stone courtyard. The Rajdranji complex also houses the Sikyong Tulku Bird Park, with about 200 of the 550 species of birds found in Sikkim. The entire complex is now maintained by the Archaeological Survey of India.
With Saika Saka, this is Diliram Dulal for Northeast Diary from AIR News Sikkim.
Arunachal Pradesh, the land of the rising sun, is the largest state of the northeast India, and it stretches from snow-capped mountains in the north to the plains of Brahmaputra Valley in the south. The prospect of tourism is immense in this state and is one of the most job-generating sectors in the state. Here's a report.
Arunachal Pradesh is a land of mighty rocks and luxuriant forest, gentle streams, and raging torrents which displays nature in all her glory, raw and unspoiled and untamed in wild profusion of flora and fauna. About 82% of the mountainous state is covered with forest. To add more colors to this natural extravaganza, the state is home to 26 major tribes and over 100 sub-tribes having their own distinct culture, dialect and way of life. Arunachal Pradesh is mostly mountainous with Himalayan ranges along the northern borders crisscrossed with mountain ranges running north-south. Though it is the biggest state of northeastern region with over 14 lakhs population, the state is sparsely populated. But this thin population in fact has contributed in not altering the natural landscape. One of the most sought tourist destinations in the state is Tawang. Nestled in the Himalayas, Tawang is a charming hill station. With a rich culture and history, Tawang houses India's largest and Asia's second largest Buddhist monastery and is revered destinations among Buddhists. Temperature in Tawang dips below 0 degree during winter. This year, Tawang has started experiencing snowfall from last week. Another beautiful tourist destination is Mechuka in Siome district along Indo-China border. This place is known for its beautiful landscape and adventure tourism like paragliding, rafting, etc. Jiro in Lower Subansiri district is another tourist hotspot after Tawang in the state. Jiro Plateau is also known as the rice bowl of Arunachal Pradesh, as people of the area has a unique way of integrated farming method of fish-cum-paddy cultivation. The Jiro Music Festival is an internationally acclaimed annual event. Apart from this, some historical remains dating back to ancient times are also point of attraction for tourists. Bismarcknagar Archaeological Site, Malini Than Archaeological Site, Parsuram Kund, the Ita Fort, and the recently unearthed large burial ground with about 1,000 graves of allied soldiers from World War II in Changlang district are some of the important ones. The capital city Itanagar got its name from the medieval monument Ita Fort, situated in the heart of the city. The Ita Fort is believed to have been constructed in the 13th and 14th century by the then Sutia king who ruled over the region. There's also a legend behind why the fort was constructed. According to local folklore, a king from the plain was so attracted towards a hill tribal girl that he married her and built the fort for her. Apart from all this, the state is a biodiversity hotspot and houses innumerable plants and animal species which attracts wildlife enthusiasts from across the world. In Arunachal Pradesh, the concept of hotel is not very much popular in rural areas, but beautiful and cozy homestays are almost available across the state. Arunachal Pradesh falls under restricted area and official permission is required to enter the state. Therefore, the visitors other than native of Arunachal Pradesh are required to obtain an inner-land permit for entry. One can apply for an inner-land permit online. Individual foreigners visiting Arunachal Pradesh or East Kameng district require restricted area permit from the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. For Northeast Diary, this is Rakesh Dole, AIR News, Itanagar.
In our personality section today, we have with us Dr. Sukamal Deb, who is the Deputy CEO of the Khadi and Village Industries Commission. He is being interviewed by Manas Pratim Sarma.
Good evening, Dr. Deb, and welcome to this episode of Northeast Diary. Would you please tell us what are the activities right now in Northeast by the KVIC?
As you know, Khadi and Village Industries Commission normally covers two areas. One is Khadi sector and other is Village Industries sector. Under Khadi's program, the previous year, that is 2021, we have given financial assistance to 31 Khadi institutions. Previous year, we have made a Khadi production of rupees around 11 crore. Under Khadi program, we have helped 258 poor rural artisans, mostly women, for having their work set, where they can do their work in their own place, in their own house. So we have given them financial assistance of 1 crore 54 lakhs of rupees, and thereby they have created 258 work sheds in various villages of the Northeast region, especially in Assam. Beyond that, in Northeast region, we have renovated 9 Khadi and Village Industry sales outlets. We have been doing various exhibitions. So this is what we are doing under Khadi program. Then we have taken up another flagship program of the Ministry of MSME, which is called Honey Mission. Under Honey Mission, in previous 3 years, that is up to 2021, we have distributed 19,620 bee boxes along with bee colonies and other equipment. We have provided them training, and thereby we have spent 15.39 crores of rupees, and we have created employment to the tune of 2,940 persons under Honey Mission. We have another program which is called Kumhar Shashakti Mission Program, or this is called Mineral-Based Industries, where we are distributing electrically operated water wheels. And in last 3 years, we have provided 1,270 electrically operated water wheels to the beneficiaries, especially women, in the state of Assam, Tripura, Manipur, Nagaland and Meghalaya. In doing this, we have spent 52.28 lakhs of rupees. We have a cluster development program which is called Scheme of Fund for Regeneration of the Traditional Industries. Under this, in last 3 years, we have provided financial assistance for 11 numbers of clusters. Total fund provided is 7 crore 84 lakhs of rupees. And these are established in the state of Assam, Tripura, Manipur, Nagaland, Meghalaya and Sikkim. Beyond this, we have a flagship program which is called Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. From 2018-19 till 2020-21, we have successfully established 23,715 micro enterprises in the various places of the northeastern region. In doing this, Government of India has spent subsidy or margin money to the tune of 424.80 crores of rupees, and we could generate bank finance to the tune of 1,153.02 crores of rupees. Under this scheme alone, we have created employment for 1,89,720 persons. So if we take a total of the employments we have created in last 3 years, it comes to the tune of 139 persons has been given employment in the non-farm sector with the financial assistance from the Government of India as well as from the bank. Current year, we are also working and all these schemes are in the stage of implementation.
How did you see the employment creation in Northeast by KVIC?
Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program, if someone goes to the village areas, they can visualize that how using the local talent, using the locally available raw material under PMEGP, we could scale such a huge achievement. Then under Khadi program, see the ladies, especially the women of Assam, everyone is a weaver, they are spinner. So we have provided employment to them, we have given them work shed, we have given them the budgetary allocation, and they are working through various Khadi institutions, which are basically NGOs. So through 31 NGOs, each NGO is having a base of average 250 to 300 beneficiaries or the artisans. Through distribution of the bee boxes, we have given employment to around 3,000 people. Through distribution of electrically operated potter wheels, we have given employment to 1,270. And all these are a major chunk of these employments goes to the women and the tribal population. Very recently, in the month of December, we have inaugurated a program in Gwalpara district of Assam. It is called the Rehab program, that is reducing elephant and human attack through beekeeping, through honeybee. So what we are doing in a very natural way without damaging the life of the elephants or the animals, we are trying to save the crops and the public property of the poor villagers by creating an artificial barrier or a fence with the honeybee. So this is one of the beautiful things we have taken up. In Assam this year we have started a new training center which is called Mtdc, Multi-Disciplinary Training Center. It has started operating. We have given training in beekeeping, we have given training in agarbatti industry. A group of 70 tribal women of Assam has been brought under the ambit of Agarbatti Atmanirbhar Bharat program. Under this, we have given them a finance of 35 lakhs of rupees and 70 tribal women has been provided employment, especially under this scheme. In Arunachal Pradesh, last year we have revived a 1,000-year-old craft of making handmade paper. Then in Assam, we have successfully revived a Khadi production center in Baksar district. We have made a world record of distribution of 1,000 bee boxes and colonies, etc. in a single day at Kaziranga, Assam. We have reached out to Majuli, the world's largest river island, where we have penetrated into the remotest places of the Majuli and we have distributed potter wheels. We have given them assistance under Honey Mission. So these are the programs we are doing. In the state of Meghalaya, you know, there is a village called Maulinong, which is the cleanest village of Asia, and there we have, through our Honey Mission program, we have tried to assist, support the villagers and give further boost to the environment. So these are the works we have been doing with the financial assistance from the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises.
And finally, would you please let us know your upcoming projects or a new initiative that we are going to see in this year?
For this year, under PMEGP, Government of India has allocated 376 crores of rupees as a margin money or subsidy, and to absorb this fund, we are in need of around 800 crores from the banking sector. So we have been in continuous touch with the banking sector and having a high target of creating at least 70,000 employment in the northeastern region through this program. Then we have been working on the Honey Mission program, on the potter wheel distribution program, a normal Khadi program. Besides that, I have received an information yesterday from the KVIC Central Office, Mumbai, that the ministry has considered to provide some COVID relief fund to the Khadi and village industry sector, and I have been asked to prepare a plan of promoting 3 programs in entire Northeast region. These 3 programs are Honey Mission program, potter wheel distribution program, and Atmanirbhar Agarbatti program. So we have been working on it, and we are of the faith that we will be able to do some additional good work. Pray that the COVID situation does not get worsened.
Dr. Dev, thank you for the inputs and valuable times again. Thank you.
The avian diversity is always regarded as part of a heritage of a particular geographical area because the birds and humans have a social cultural bond since time immemorial. The avian diversity in the world is recorded to be as many as 10,426 different species, wherein the Indian subcontinent is home to 1,375 species. And this is 13% of the world's bird population. According to a report, India, with a variety of geographical and climatic conditions, has huge varieties of birds. In India, Mizoram, a part of the Indo-Myanmar biodiversity zone, is undeniably a bird watcher's paradise. In fact, the diversity of bird species and their huge population is regarded as a rich heritage of Mizoram in terms of biodiversity. However, like many hotspot areas, many species are presently near extinction. For more details, let us go to our correspondent from Aizawl.
Mizoram is part of the Mizoram-Manipur-Kachin rainforest ecoregion, which is reported to have the highest bird species richness of all ecoregions in the Indo-Pacific region. According to the latest report, the state holds 671 species of birds. They come under 68 families, and among them are 4 frugivorous families, 40 families are insectivores or predatory, and 23 omnivorous families. The state is just as famous for its birds with some great rarities. Experts said that several factors and variability within the state's habitat, such as topographical, climatic, and forest, have contributed to avian diversity and richness. The most attractive and typical species of birds found in the state is Mrs. Hume's pheasant, which is regarded as the state bird. Other spectacular birds are called as Blight's trogopan, Blight's kingfisher, Rufous vented, and pot-breasted laughing thrushes. Other species like crested finchbill, olive and flavescent bulbul, and purple-throated sunbird are commonly found in the state. However, according to the BirdLife International report, 4.6% of Mizoram birds are being threatened with extinction. The small population of Blight's trogopan are now confined to the cliff of Phongpui National Park and Lengteng Wildlife Sanctuary. A research scholar in zoology, Dr. Lal Omoya, who did his research on birds of Mizoram, is also working for conservation of birds in the state. He observed that the shifting cultivation-induced uncontrolled forest fire and hunting have created havoc to the dwindling population of birds. This is reported that a loss of large, tall, and old-fruiting trees and logging and timber production resulted in the reduction of large birds like the great Indian hornbill and the vulnerable rufous-necked hornbill. He further opined,
"We are presently working on conservation and scientific studies of the wild fauna of Mizoram and their habitat. The main threat faced by the wildlife of Mizoram are uncontrolled hunting, deforestation, and wildfire. Talking about birds, recently the hunting pressure increases many-fold with the introduction of scope-mounted air rifle. To save our wildlife, especially the birds, the government have to ban the possession of air rifle, and stringent enforcement of the Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972 against the poacher is an urgent need."
Conservationists observe that the birds play an important role as a pest control agent, pollinators, and afforestation agent. They maintain that the scientific studies and efforts to conserve the declining avian population is the need of the hour to save the rich biodiversity of the state. For Northeast Diary, this is Irene from AIR News, Aizawl.
And before we wrap up the show, let us enjoy some popular music from Nagaland. With that, we have come to the end of this edition of Northeast Diary. Do join us next week to hear more stories from this enchanting part of India. Bye-bye. This program was narrated by Anuja Kumar, produced by Sharmila Goswami, and assisted by Kamlesh Mudgal. This program was brought to you by News Services Division of All India Radio.